Hi, in this 9th episode of 5 by 5 Coffee Bites, I want to deal with a subject which is very unique. I want to discuss with you the difference between perfection and perfectionism. Perfection is a builder. We have all been taught from the time we are children, by our parents, by our teachers, that whatever we do, we should do it perfectly well. And of course there is logic and sense, because whatever we do, if we do it perfect, we are supposed to be meeting the quality standards which are of the highest order, and therefore we will succeed. However, its country cousin, which is a debilitator or which is a derailer of behavior, is actually called perfectionism. Now, perfectionism is that behavior which makes you focus on elements of perfection for very, very small little things, but makes you lose and defocus from the larger elements which need to be perfect. So you miss on the larger perfect behaviors, but keep focusing on smaller elements of perfectionism, and that is why perfectionism minus perfection leads you to a derailer leadership behavior. Now, what are the things it does? Number one is it makes you irrationally start picking up holes, or makes you start nitpicking behaviors of people or the work of the other people. It makes you focus much more on the hole and not on the donut. The purpose is lost. It makes you scoop on silly mistakes of the other people. It makes you miss the big things. And literally it makes you focus on the form over content. Now the situation is, if you are actually realizing that you are suffering from perfectionism, what are the 5 things that you ought to be doing? Number one, start writing down the things that make you bother so much that you keep focusing and pushing people to be trying to complete the small things where you are focusing on perfectionism. Write down those things, and write down also why is it that that makes you bother so much about it. Number 2, try and calculate, even if it means calculating notional costs, try and calculate the notional cost of these indulgences of perfectionism behaviors, which actually delays the process for the whole organization and costs the organization money. Find out if it is psychological. For all you know, it may be only a psychological effect. Quite a few of us actually do get bothered when we walk into rooms, when we see photo frames and picture frames not actually hung properly straight in the way it should be, but are slightly tilted towards right or left. Our full attention goes on to try and rectify that balance. Versus we really don't focus on perfectionism in the larger way. So therefore, that is something that we need to find out, whether it is a psychological behavior we are suffering from, or is it real-time perfection that we are trying to, and perfectionism is only a part of that perfection that we are talking about. Find out if our behavior is actually leading to value creation. If any of our behaviors are leading to value creation, then it is not perfectionism, it is perfection, and that is good. But if it is not leading to any value creation, it is perfectionism, and we need to be avoiding it. And the last and most important is, we need to find out that if this is something that we have to indulge in, there are no ways out. How can we communicate it effectively to the people so that they are aware that when we are indulging in that behavior, it is not personally targeting anyone, or is not focusing on trying to nitpick holes into the performance of other people, but is actually a pattern of behavior which is harmless, but which will help the system continue to create value. And that will make you realize the difference between perfectionism behaviors and perfection behaviors, which is the difference most professionals tend to mix out on. Thank you.